Hi everyone, this is Andrea from Erin Community Cultural Center and Seymour Insurance Services. I am with Erin Community Cultural Center. I am a volunteer coordinator there. Erin Community Cultural Center provides shared housing, employment training, and we have a Tuesday weekly grocery giveaway from 10 until 11 a.m. All you have to do to participate in the grocery giveaway is go to www.and3cs, see the 3Cs, bsm.com and register for the grocery giveaway. And we are so happy to serve the Los Angeles community. Seymour Insurance Services provide Medicare, health, dental, vision, any kind of insurance, and covered California. So give us a call at 1-800-527-4184 and let us know how we can help you. Excuse me. Once again, my name is Andrea, and a little bit of information about me. I am a retired educator and counselor, and I also helped with family systems from birth to death, which means I serve the entire family system. And as an educator, I help parents and their children move along the educational system, making sure that they're receiving the benefits and services they needed from the local school district. And as a counselor, I also worked with the entire family system, including the geriatric side for the seniors. So my hobbies are swimming, traveling, and helping the community. And I am a little bit of a foodie. I like food. Okay. Today, we are going to week 3. I'm going to help you identify, plan, and achieve your goals, dreams, and visions. Last week, we covered week 2. We talked about blueprinting your life. And all of the handouts are already on the Facebook page. So go to the page and download whatever you need. Everyone should have the page with the quadrants, so you're sure that you are in a particular quadrant that you're working on. We're working on careers, and moving it over, health, relationships, or finance. Those are the 4 quadrants that we are working on in this particular series. Some of you might even want to throw in spirituality. Okay, where am I going spiritually? That's okay. Throw that in. You can work on whatever you'd like to work on in your life. But as we blueprint it, we're putting things out there in a blueprint. And just like they blueprint a house or a building, we are having you blueprint your life, where you're going and what you'd like to work on in one of those quadrants. You can take the class again, but I'm asking you to kind of work in one quadrant because it can be overwhelming making that many changes at one time in your life. Trust me, you want to just do one thing. Okay, and the 5 questions that you're going to ask yourself from your blueprinting, as you've had time to work on the blueprinting, we will get to those in a minute. But I want you to do some breathing before we go back to blueprinting. I'm going to put on our song by Andrea Day. It's called Rise. And this song gives you can feel her emotions as she sings the song. I want you to feel that because you're making changes in your life. You're transforming. And you have to think about, where am I going? What am I doing as you look at the blueprint? Today we're going to work on bridging right after I do a little bit of a recap on blueprinting, because blueprinting is so critical. I just want to make sure everyone understands it and they ask themselves the questions that go with blueprinting. For breathing, this is part of your homework. You're going to inhale, exhale, as if you're blowing out candles on a cake, or you can go inhale, exhale, and aha breath. Okay, so we're going to do that for about a minute. Inhale. Exhale. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Mountains, bring it to its feet. All right, inhale, exhale, in, out. Get focused on something in the room you're in. Inhale, exhale. Excellent. Okay, and you're going to do that 10 to 25 times a day, 3 times a day. In the morning before you get out of bed, sometime midday, lunchtime, or mid-afternoon. I find it really refreshing to do it between 1 and 3 in the afternoon, because it's like you've had the whole day kind of hitting you, and it just kind of balances you out, makes you mellow. And then at night before you go to bed, because you're releasing all of the tension, all of the stress, everything that's not going to help you sleep well, you're releasing it out of your muscles. Okay, so now the test for your blueprint, you're going to ask yourself 5 questions. Question number 1. Does imagining living my dream gives me more life? Do you feel energized? Do you feel positive? Are all these wonderful thoughts coming into your head? What I often do when I'm thinking of creative things and I'm writing them down, it's like a creative riot going off in my head. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's add this and let's add that to it. You know, especially if I'm working on community projects and I'm starting to think about, wow, what if time, money, and energy wasn't an issue? Oh, I can add this and we can do this and we can add that service and that. So if you feel energized, maybe not as energized as me, but up, if you feel more positive, either the endorphins are flowing through your brain, you know, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I can think of that. Yeah, that's positive. Then you're on the right track. Does the dream align with your core values? Core values are what you believe in. Is it morally against what you believe? Okay. Is it spiritually against what you believe? If it goes against what you believe in, then you don't want to do it because it's not for you. Okay. Will creating this dream cause me to grow? Whenever you're embarking on a new dream, vision, or goal, you're going to stretch. Just like you heard Andrea's Dave voice going, okay, rise up. Okay, you should feel that stretch, that pressure, that emotional, okay, because, excuse me, you're adventuring on a new territory. It's uncharted territory for you. So you should feel that. And if you're involved in a dream, vision, or goal, and it's not making you think, it's not making you stretch, it's not having you grow, then that's probably not where you want to be. It probably isn't. So think about that. Does this dream requires help from a higher power? Help from a greater power other than my intelligence? Do I need to search out other help? Okay? For some of us, whatever your higher power is, do you need to focus? Do you need to meditate more? Do you need to focus on your spiritual practices more? Or search out some of the readings there? Then you're on the right track. Because if you don't have all the answers, you're on the right track. There's a saying that we used to say, if you're the smartest person in the room, find another room, okay? Because if you have all the answers and only you can hear your voice, then that's not truly where you want to be. Because it's kind of like when they say a doctor's going to, do surgery on their own self. That's how we are with our goals, dreams, and visions. Everybody needs to have 2 groups that they relate to. One group that they aspire to be in keeps you growing and stretching. Another, it's actually 3. In the other group that, okay, we're peers. We're pretty much, okay, we're grooving. We're in the same thoughts. We're aligning, affirming, and confirming each other's thoughts. And the third group is the group that's aspiring to be you. Okay, so if your life is balanced where you have those three groups that you're aligning yourself with, then you're in a pretty good spot. If you only have an audience of one in your group, it's your thoughts, your feelings, you're in control, you know everything. Please find another voice that you trust, respect, and can bounce ideas off of. Another person, not just a voice, but a person living, breathing that can say, you know what, that's a great idea, but have you thought about doing blah, blah, blah? And be willing to listen to your advisors. It's like a nonprofit. We have an advisory board for a reason, because they come up with good ideas. They allow us to bounce ideas off of them. When you're an educator, educators have meetings, and it's called collaboration. When we go to meetings and trainings, collaboration. Because if you're only hearing your own thoughts, like some people say, drinking your own Kool-Aid, ooh, that's not where you want to be in life. Trust me. Because if you are the end all, be all of all your thoughts, feelings, visions, dreams, goals, all right, I said that enough. Please find a group. Okay. All right. And higher power is a great way to get wisdom on where to go and where to do that. Will creating this dream bring good to others? Are you helping others, or is just the one person you're helping? If you're helping others in this dream, vision, and goal, you're onto something really good. You're onto something really good there. Also, deserving. Know that you deserve to have your own goals, dreams, and vision. Will it increase your sense of deserving, serving, and deserving? Redefining what makes you deserving of your dream. Are you deserving because you're breathing, you're living, you're increasing the amount of good you will allow into your life and into others' life. So that's the test. If your dream, goal, and vision pass that test, woohoo! All right, now we are on to week 3. That's our review. Week 3 is bridging. You know how one of the most famous bridges in the area is the Vincent St. Thomas Bridge. It's in San Pedro / Long Beach area. And then there's the San Francisco Bay Bridge. When you cross both of those bridges, they bridge part of that area together. They bridge 2 cities together. They bridge communities together. Okay, so that's what you're doing. You're bridging your goals with what you're going to do to help humanity. Okay, you're going to close the gap between the life you know and the life you love, which means, okay, this is the life I know, but I don't know the other side, but I want to go over there and I want to discover the other side, and that's why I'm moving towards the other side. So that's part of bridging. You're going to have to come up against your fears. See, there's a lot of people who won't entrust their thoughts, feelings, goals, and dreams to others to talk about them because of fear. They're afraid that, they're not going to think very well of my dreams, visions, and goals. But that's okay. Only way you move forward with them is to trust other people to help you look at them and move through what will work and what won't work, or what could possibly be tweaked. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It might mean it needs to be discussed. One of the challenges for me when I first started collaborating with other educators was, okay, going through the process of, they're going to tear this idea apart, but that's okay, because we're going to come up with a better way to do this. But it's opening yourself up and having enough self-confidence to allow criticism. If you can take some criticism, then you can get to grow. Because we're not an island. We're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. We're not always right. That doesn't mean you're going to change everything they say. your advisors are the people you're bouncing ideas off or collaborating with, but it allows you to at least hear another voice besides your own in your head. Okay, and it allows you to get up against the fear. Learning the source and meanings of fear. When you collaborate, it allows you to start discovering, well, why am I afraid? Why am I having a challenge with this? Many times it goes all the way back to early childhood. I was in a workshop many years ago, and there was a well-known speaker, and he said he always had a challenge with money early on in life, and he could figure out, why do I have these challenges? I mean, I make it. I do quite well in what I do, and I love doing what I do. Why am I always broke? And so he went to a workshop and discovered that when he was a child, on his way to Sunday school, parents used to give children money to go to Sunday school and church and put it in this little offering plate. In some faiths, that happens. Not everybody have that experience, but that in his experience, that's what he experienced. So he said, on his way to Sunday school, his sister would always say, give me your money, because you're going to lose it. You don't know what to do with money. Let me put it in my purse, and when I get to church, I'll give it to you, because I don't want to look for your dime or whatever you're going to put in. Usually it was a dime when you were a little kid back then, because a dime was a pretty good amount of money, a quarter for a child. And yes, he wasn't born yesterday. He was not born with computer ages back then. So anyway, that made him feel insecure. And when he'd get to church, he would have to wait until she gave it to him, and he'd go into his class, and then he'd put it in his pocket. She said, put it back, put it deep in your pocket so you don't lose it, because you're irresponsible, and you're going to... And it was the criticism, it was the voice in his head that made him feel insecure about money, and it was playing out in his adult life. So when you have a chance to explore those old tapes and voices in your head, it helps. Collaboration allows you to look at that, and it allows you to see it. As you do the exercise, exploring why you're doing what you're doing, it allows you to move through those challenges. But if you don't allow yourself to do that, you can't get to the other side, because we're bridging stuff now. Okay? Discovering that transformation of fear has nothing to do with getting fear to go away. Okay? So as you see the fear transforming, it's not going to go away until you look at the root cause. For example, the one I gave you with the money example. There's a lot of people hate taxes. I mean, nobody loves to pay taxes, okay, in any country or part of the world. However, a lot of people avoid the whole thing. They hand it over to their accountant, their bookkeeper, and say, here, I just don't want to deal with it. It's just horrible. So when you can start discovering, how can I get a better handle on this? It is one of the things that you say, okay, I can embrace that. Okay, I know how to put this in this pile, and they set it up on the computer, and it just makes it so much more manageable for you. Budgeting. Excuse me. One of the things I had to do early on in life, and I started simple. My first budget, you're probably going to laugh, was an envelope system. I had my first job, I had envelopes, and I had everything labeled. I had my offering labeled. I had my gas money labeled, my lunch money, all in these envelopes. And whenever I needed money, I would take it out of the envelope. And that was my first budgeting system, because it worked. It was tangible. It made it something I can do without stressing. Some people use milk cartons, milk bottles. The envelopes worked for me. It was practical. It was cheap. You figure out what's going to work for you if you're dealing with a budgeting scenario. Now they make it really easy, because you can pull up a lot of budgets on your computer. And then you start putting in the money, and you put it in the bank account, and then you keep track of what you've taken out. They even have apps that will allow you to subtract every dollar you take out. Even some of the banks have that app that you can use like that. So A lot of things have become easier because of technology. You don't have to use the envelope system or the milk carton system or the old milk bottle system. Whatever you used before, we can change that. Learning to act in your own best interest, even when you're afraid. Have you ever heard the saying, do it afraid? Sometime as we go on this journey, many of you are going to say, you know, I'm really afraid to go from here to there. It's okay. You don't have to have all the answers right now, but just be willing to walk through the steps, the challenges. Okay, keep coming back. Keep working on things every week as we go through this class. Join the Facebook group and talk about what did you do differently this week? How did you face a challenge? How did you face a fear? Okay, and it always works. One of my fears I'm doing right now, I'm doing a videotaped class. That is new territory for me, people. I want you to know that. I did tapes years ago at work because, you know, you had to do it at work, or you did a webinar, you did a seminar, because there weren't webinars back then. You did a training. In other words, it was training. And so they might record it, and you're going, oh my God, I'm never going to see that. I don't care about seeing that, because all I wanted to do was get through the training for everybody, and that was it. Okay, so that was the gist of it. And you didn't really take it to heart. The other thing was, we used video a lot if you were interviewing for a job, because it would help you be natural. But so this is one of my fears. So I'm sharing that with you because I am rising to the challenge here. Okay. And this is what they used to call a lockdown camera. I don't have a camera person. I'm having to roll this puppy out all by myself. But it's okay. I'm learning. It's a good life experience. Lack. Welcome a greater flow of abundance. If your challenge is financial, just welcome it. See, I'm open to opportunities. There was one person that says, my needs are met and I'm out of debt and looking for more to put in store. Another one said, I'll never be broke another day in my life again. So, you know, whatever it takes. I like to use affirmations. They really work for me. And I use all kinds. I use spiritual ones. I use positive. I use quotes. And I like to keep myself surrounded by those daily because they work for me. It allows me to stay positive in the middle of challenges. You know, the person who cuts you off on the street and you're going, okay, that was really not a nice thing to do. But then you can take a breath and let it go. I don't need to keep that on my body. Yeah, they'll get theirs at some point. And I don't need to cuss them out. I don't need to find them on the street and do any of that. Because here in LA, we have road rage. And that's why every day you go down the street, you got ambulances running all over because people have road rage. Developing an understanding of the invisible law that governs supply. That all goes back to abundance. What is it you want? How are you sowing a seed into receiving what it is you're asking for? Or are you taking time out to connect with other people in the field? Last week I talked about connecting with people in new careers. If you are seeking out abundance, go to workshops where people are in a field where you want to be, or go to money seminars, you know, read up on it. People do many things because water seeks and sinks its own level. So whatever you're striving for, you want to put it out there. Okay? Learn to activate the law of receiving through giving. Okay? If you want something, if you want to do better in a certain area, okay, give in that area. When I talked about volunteers, we love our volunteers. I talked about how we are thankful. We're grateful for volunteers at Erin Community Cultural Center, and we send them thank yous. I'll send them emails. I'll send them cards. I ask every volunteer, please register. We just want to acknowledge the fact that we appreciate you. When they come, we have a little thank you for them for coming, especially the first time, because we want them to know we appreciate them taking time out of their life, their busy day, to come and volunteer in the community. We really do. And so give what you want to receive. Okay. When we talked about those individuals that were starting a new career, seek out 3 people in those careers. Talk to them, have conversations with them, ask them if you could shadow them. Now, a lot of the shadowing is going to be on a conference call, on a Zoom meeting, but you can really get a flavor of what people do on Zoom meetings. Whenever I go to insurance meetings, I get a chance to watch people in different industries do different things. You get a chance to see where their heart is in that industry. Some people like doing what they do. Some people don't like it, and that shows up too. Even if they don't think it does, it shows up. So it's about playing full out for where you want to go before you even get there. Perceptions, evolve your perceptions. Start imagining, okay, I am in that career. I shared with everyone before about the computers. We had computers donated to the center. We're ecstatic about that. And we had a volunteer that engineered. He set up the whole thing, and we're so grateful and thankful for that. We went through interviews. It's a computer grant. And so he helped us set that up, the paperwork, the articulating with individuals. We went through an interview. We had to do that because they had to know, well, what are you going to do with them if we give them to you? And he's going to teach the classes. We're thankful for that because it's opening up another door, not only for individuals that are in shared housing, but individuals in the community, individuals that volunteer there that want to improve their computer skills. Even me, I can use a lot of help with my computer skills. But I've grown a lot too with my computer skills, and I have to acknowledge that. Give yourself credit where credit is due, okay? Because sometimes we're so busy talking about the deficiencies, we don't think about what we have accomplished. And so you want to do that. There was one time I couldn't even sign online. Man, I can sign several things online right now, okay? I can do a flyer online in a few minutes now because with the iPad and iPhone, honey, you can do a whole lot with it. And so it makes a difference. Successful patterning of perception for allowing more flow through the practice of forgiveness. Now, that was a lot I just read there. I'm going to read that again. Successive patterning of perceptions for allowing more flow through the practice of forgiving. There are sometimes people will get angry with a person and hold a grudge for decades. They'll hold a grudge all day, all month, whatever, forever. There's some people never forgive. They walk into, you have offended me. I have no use for you. Delete. Okay. I talked last week about narcissistic people and narcissism. People who are narcissistic don't forgive. They only hear their voice. They don't forgive, and they have no need for you once they hit the delete button in their head. That's a challenging way to live because they're carrying that in their body. I don't want to live that way at all. I don't have a problem with forgiving people. There's times I have to walk through it. There's times I just absolutely have to walk through it because there's so much that has happened in recent times that we have to walk through. We have to process through. We have to let go of the anger in layers. We're like onions. You have to peel back the layers of anger, peel back the layers of frustration, peel back the layers of unforgiveness. But it's a choice. Love is a choice. We make a decision every day whether we're going to love people, whether we're going to forgive people, whether we're going to move through the discomfort of what we feel. It's really challenging for a lot of people when they work in a work environment with people and they're unforgiving. And they go to a meeting and don't even want to speak to you. It's okay. I'm still going to do what I do. Whatever you do, you do. Okay? As they say, I'm going to be me and you be you, boo. Okay? So, and you just have to make a conscious decision. But you also sometimes have to love at a distance and release in love. You're not going to stay there and be a doormat because somebody's abusive. You don't want to do that. But you also have to set boundaries and you have to walk in forgiveness. You can forgive a person even if you don't, really deal with them. That's okay. because you made a decision to forgive them, even if they can't forgive you because they think you hurt them. It's okay. It's okay. Walk in love at all times, as much as you can, and be consciously conscious of it. I didn't say perfect. I said consciously conscious. Write down persons or situations you need to forgive a person in. That's a challenge. Okay, when you're working with your sheet here, write that down. Write it down. Because it's going to keep you consciously conscious. There are some times you might have experienced a person at your job that just has not been nice to anyone. But you still, if you're at a meeting, you still got to walk. Hey, how's it going with everybody when you walk in the door? You don't walk in the door. I was in a meeting one time, and seriously, this was a professional. She decided to walk in the meeting and speak to the two of the people, and I'm sitting right there, and I'm laughing in my head because I'm like, really? Did she really just do that? She did. And then the other person looked at her. One of the administrators looked at her and went, "Excuse me." It was hysterical. And when they left, we all laughed. And the person said, that was so inappropriate. There's going to be a discussion. I said, ooh, please don't do it on my part. I am okay that person decided to be that rude. They said, no, that's not appropriate behavior. And we just cannot have that at work. Now, you can do that at home to your family members, but you can't do that at work, in a work environment. And that's a challenge with a lot of people. They don't realize I can have narcissistic behavior on my phone, playing my games, doing my social media, whatever. But I can't take that off, because when you're dealing with human beings, there's another element there. But because we have people trained to these devices, they can't separate the device world from actual world that they live in, the living, breathing people world. So one of the things is you have to look at people and you move in forgiveness, but sometimes loving from a distance. That's okay. All right. So we're going to end with our song for breathing, because I want you to get some practice on that. Next week is going to be week 4. Yes. We have did blueprinting. We've done bridging. And now we're going to do building next week. I'm excited about that. I hope you are. And so I want you to inhale, exhale. Okay, and we're going to go out with Andrea Day. That we have each other. All right, everyone. I hope you heard that. We rise up, we have hope, and that we have each other. And I'm looking for you to rise and shine. This information is being brought to you by Aaron Community Cultural Center. Contact us at www.an3csbsm.com or call us at 1-800-527-4184. Have a wonderful day and rise up, everyone.